Good morning. My name is Kimberly Adams, and I'm the pastor at First Presbyterian Church of Valparaiso. If you tuned in last week, you might notice that my surroundings look a little bit different this week, and that my friend Ken isn't with me today. But that's because we have decided to do our part to help keep people healthy by staying at home. This means I am at home working along with my partner Jason, our 2 teenagers, and our 2 dogs. Maybe you've had to be home too. If you normally work or go to school outside of the home, things are probably a lot different right now. We are finding new rhythms to complete our schoolwork and our daytime jobs and our nighttime jobs. Some of us might miss having lunch with our friends or having a cup of coffee with a colleague at work. Instead of meeting face-to-face, play dates, meetings, and hangouts are taking place by live video, much like we're doing this morning. Sometimes when we are cooped up, we show different emotions and can even get upset with the people we are in close contact with. But we can also use this time to learn from one another and grow in our love for one another and learn to use words that express how we feel in a good and healthy way. Have you ever really thought about words? Last week, we read a book that talked about different languages. And today, we are going to read a book about words. There are so many words. And as we will learn today, words can be big and beautiful and good, but words can also be harsh and ugly and mean. But if we didn't have words, where would that leave us? I wonder why God gave us words. Let's see. Today, I will be reading When God Gave Us Words by Sandy Eisenberg Sasso. One day, God decided to give words to man and woman. But the angels objected. People will not know what to do with words. Words should belong only to angels. But God said, perhaps people will make something beautiful with words. Nothing could be more wonderful than what we do with words, the angels insisted. People will just mess them up. But God was intent on hearing words from the mouths of men and women. So God filled the angels' sacks with words and sent the angels to earth to spread the words. In some sacks, God put long, difficult words like omniscient and anti-disestablishmentarianism. The angels frowned. People will never understand the meaning of these words. And it was so. Because of the long, difficult words, dictionaries were created. In other sacks, God put silly words like gibberish, goop, and gosh. In one sack, God placed all the words that were hard to spell, like hors d'oeuvres. People will never know how to spell those words, said the angels. And it was so. Because of hard to spell words, God created spelling lists. Then God sent the angels to put words into the mouths of all the people. The angels did as God commanded. When the angels returned from spreading the words, they sat down with God and listened. It took some time for people to get accustomed to using words. Slowly, they let each word form in their mouths. Carefully, they added one to another, until they made sentences. When they got used to the words, they talked and talked and talked until the angels shouted, "Enough!" But God wanted to hear more. Then people twisted and turned words and made lies. They rolled words in the wet earth until they were covered with mud and created curses. People mixed words with sharp thorns, and gossip was born. The angels shouted, "Stop! What a mess people are making with our words." And God regretted giving words to man and woman. God was about to send the angels to earth to take back all the words when God heard a new sound. People stirred soft music into words and sang lullabies. Words were mixed with dance, and poetry was born. People joined laughter to words and told jokes. The angels smiled and said to God, "Some of these jokes are very funny and some are just silly." And it was so. For the silly jokes, God created groans. And for the truly funny jokes, God just laughed. People mixed words with midnight and wrote mysteries. When the angels listened to the mysteries, their wings trembled. People wove love, longing, thanksgiving, and hope into words and offered prayer. Imagination and words were joined together, and then there were stories. The angels listened and were enchanted. God asked the angels if they still wanted to gather all the words and bring them back to the heavens. The angels remembered the lies and the curses and the gossip that people had made with words. Nevertheless, the angels did not want to take back the words. They loved the songs and poetry that people had created. They giggled at the jokes and cried during the prayers. We must hear the end of the stories that people are telling, the angels pleaded. And it was so. People were allowed to keep the gift of words. Of stories. That's all I have for today. I hope you join us next Wednesday at 11 for story time. Blessings to you this week.